Shall we continue? We lived like that for some time as we grew more and more aggravated. The topic of sex alone would piss me off. Then I went back to just being the stoic soldier, as every topic concerning love and loyalty upset me. It didn't matter who asked me what was wrong, I simply barked. Finally, I managed to get so mad at Sean that I hit him. Something I never would normally do. He grabbed a hold of my arm angrily and pulled me into an alcove and demanded I tell him what was wrong. He expected a fight, but all I did was burst into tears. Put my head on his chest and begged him to not tell him, just as Jeremiah passed down the hallway. Because I was near a computer panel and the system assumed I had been abused as the guys did it, a check happened on the computer. Even though it found no evidence of abuse, the guys needed to know. However, I also knew that if they found out our marriage was not a real marriage with consummation, my love would end up being reassigned elsewhere. I also had a medical issue that I didn't want to discuss, and ended up having no choice but to say something. We haven't had sex because I have a wound that drains an infection still. I was so ashamed I buried my head in Sean's chest to hide my tears. It took me some time to get myself together, as I had never experienced his anger towards me. They knew there was more to my temper than what I had said, but didn't push the issue. For now. It couldn't be avoided for long because I had punched Sean hard in the face, and now he was sporting a really big black eye. He had me by the arm and practically dragged me back to my room. All sound left me meanwhile. I couldn't listen as they discussed what happened. I was in shock even after Jeremiah hugged me to stop the trembling I was doing. I did hear Sean eventually say the two of us had been temporarily possessed by a very angry spirit. Although that was little comfort because the king did end up leaving anyways. As a group of my family discussed the situation with my boyfriend, they called him the truth of what my late husband came out. The previous king, a real mean man called the boss, was not only why I showed signs of long-term abuse, but the reason I had gone missing. My family showed up soon after and didn't know of any of the way my husband had been at all. That was why they came, because not even the rumors left the area, and as they hadn't heard from me, they came, and it was a good thing too. They arrived during an uprising, and I dropped in just after my husband was killed by a mob. They had seen me openly hit and went nuts on the king. I sat and listened as my boyfriend was brought back in for the discussion. He was about to leave and sensed something wrong and came right back. However, he had questions to answer and duties to attend to before joining the family discussion. He admitted he was the last in the same type of relationship until the ship she stole from him went into the wormhole just a little while ago. The conversation did clear the air spiritually. At the exact same time, they got word the air quality control system had been fixed. Our suite was on the top outside and opened up to a large solarium deck. The doors and windows were opened to let the air circulate, and the cool breeze wafting in felt good on my warm skin. Even though Sean had to examine me again, I feel the difference in the energies once again. Afterwards, the guys were speaking to me, but I let my mind drift again as I watched the king love from across the room. I had to give her some medication for her infection and the pain. She has to be in great pain with those broken ribs and bruises. Yeah, I didn't want to push the issue. She's so private. She went to the fight last. We checked right before she slugged Sean. Place where we basically beat up the ones being punished? Yeah, that one. Oh man, it's no wonder she punched me. She was convinced it was the only way to burn energy, and a few admitted it was unlikely she knew it was a punishment ring. Conversation faded from my ears as I drifted off to a restless sleep. When I woke up, it was in my pajamas in bed with Jeremiah next to me. It seemed so typical, it didn't even occur to me that I was back in another realm at first. Of course, the armored soldiers standing guard near the door and window was the biggest clue. The door opened up, which stirred Jeremiah awake just then. Stole the sword, brother dear. I know it's not in your nature to relax, but could you try? Please. I need to see my patients and our parents. Besides, breakfast is behind me. The grandparents and emperor are all here. And yes, I know I have a black eye. No, I won't explain it. And I was just labeled as brave. So brave, I borderline on stupid. And Grandpa has a good point there. And that's not our parents, it's our cousins. Lord Jeremiah and his friend.